everyone. I had another experience as a TV extra actor, and I want to tell you all about it because the show is actually live online. I'm going to upload this video on March 2nd, 2017, but the show isn't going to be live on CNBC until March 7th, 2017. So I was really thrilled to find it online. And I'm actually featured kind of prominently in it. The TV show is called The Partner. It's by Marcus Lemonis, who also has a TV show called The Profit, which is really good, where he goes in and he invests in small businesses and then helps them turn around and become more profitable. So he got to the point where he realized he had way too much to do and he wanted to hire somebody. And all I knew going in is that he was going to hire somebody and pay them a salary of $500,000. What I didn't realize was that this is for a three-year job, not just one. So they had a lot of people submit for it. They submitted videos, and they chose 10 people to come to Chicago to interview for the job. And the day that I was called in, I was going to be part of a focus group. And this was the first day. So this is actually the first episode. So I just want to give you some background information. So again, the reason I'm doing these videos is in case you want to do some TV extra work in a metropolitan area where you live. So this one was more unusual. Not a typical TV show like when I did the Empire TV show a little bit earlier. Oddly, it was at the same place, at the same hotel. So this hotel must do a lot of TV and movie work and just rent out their space for this. So we were told to be there at 1:30. This was just going to be a half a day work. Now, luckily in the room where they put us, there was a water cooler. But like I've told people before, bring your own water, bring your own snacks. You might be there longer than you think you're going to be there, which is how it turned out for us. So when I got there, I went to the concierge desk. I asked them, where are we going to be for the partner? And she told me what room. So I went over to that room. And the door was shut. There was a glass fronted door with frosted glass, and a producer was there, and she said, oh no, don't go in there, they're filming. And I said, oh, well, the concierge told me to come to this room. She goes, oh no, the group for the focus group, you're going to be up in the Ontario room, so go up one flight of stairs. So got to the Ontario room, walked in, there were about 5 people there. I was the 6th one to get there. And in the middle of the room, they had 2 tables put together with a tablecloth. And I didn't know how many people they were expecting. And there were 7 chairs in the room. That's it. So I picked a chair and I was putting my things down because, of course, they told us to bring an extra set of clothes, which I did. Dumb. Anyway, I saw a piece of paper on the table and I looked at it and there were names on it. So I counted, there were 43 names. Well, 7 chairs. So I thought, well, I have to go to the ladies' room. So I grabbed my purse and walked back down to the concierge. I said, first of all, we're not in the room you told me, we're in the Ontario room. And they said, okay. And I said, and when I went in there, I told them about the piece of paper. There are only 7 chairs, and I think there's going to be at least 43 people. She said, okay, I'll send up 40 more chairs. Went to the ladies' room, came back, and there's a guy already there putting in all the chairs. And when I got there, it was a little warm in the room. Actually, it was comfortable. But when they realized how many people are going to be there, they turned the temperature down. So I put my stuff in the back where the vent was, the main vent for this room. And after a while, I got really cold. But before that happened, there was a guy who came in. No one checked our wardrobe. So why did we bring other clothes? I don't know. Which was all right. But my new friend Veronica was there. I didn't know she was going to be there. She's the one who I met in the commercial, and she just brought another shirt and had it in a tote bag. She's like, I don't think they're going to have us change clothes. She was right. They had us count off and to divide us into groups of 5. So we just went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think I was in group 3. But we got cold. So I grabbed my purse and Veronica grabbed hers and we went out in the hallway. And there were a lot of people in the hallway too. And this hallway overlooked the Palm Court tea room. So it was open and there were nice chairs and lamps and things to sit on. And then we went and got some other chairs that they had brought into the room and just sat out in the hall just because we were cold. So time went on and time went on and time went on. And at one point, we found out there was a bathroom down the hall. So we didn't have to go as far. It was a onesie. And Veronica said, I went down there and I peeked in a room where the doors were open. And I think we're going to be in that room because there's a conference table and there's some lights. There aren't any people in it now. But she ended up being right. So by the time they called us, I want to say it was 5 o'clock or 5:15. So you'll see in the show, the people arriving in the morning to meet Marcus and meet each other, it was obviously morning because they're having coffee and there was some other foods and juices for them to eat. So probably by the time we got there, they had had lunch. They did, meet and greet individually with Marcus while the others were talking with one another. And then they also did some one-on-ones that they threw in there too. So, but then the next scene is we're in the conference room. And what Marcus describes is, and I did know this because he told us this, what he was doing was putting them in a situation that they didn't expect. So they were told that he was going to be in a conference room and one by one they were going to come in and tell him why they should be chosen as the partner. So they were just expecting him, and instead they opened the door and there were all these people. So finally they called us, but they only called groups 1 and 3. And I was already in the hallway, so I followed the guy who called us, an assistant director, into the conference room and walked over to the table, and he wasn't handpicking people. He just said, "Oh, you can sit here." Okay, I have my old lady feet, so I was thrilled to sit down anywhere. And then he took the chair next to me on my left and turned it around and said, "This chair will be where Marcus sits." I'm like, great. I get to sit next to the man. So then they called the other groups and finally everybody else came in, but at the table there were only 12 seats, 1 for Marcus and 11 for the rest of us, and then everybody else stood around. Then Marcus came in and told us a little bit what was going to happen, talked with the director and assistant director a bit, and then he took his seat. And the interesting thing is the order that they show the people coming into the room on the show was different than the order that they came in for us. Like for us, the first person to come in was Stephanie. Now the interesting thing is all of the job candidates were kept in one room, and one by one they came in, and when they came out they went to another room. So they couldn't talk to each other and tell each other what just occurred in the room. But in the first scene, I guess I should say, when they show on the show, the first person coming up was a woman named Buffy. And her entrance was the funniest because she walked in, she saw all these people, and she only expected Marcus. She looked and she didn't see him, and he was purposely doing that. He was sitting back to sit behind me so they couldn't see him when he walked in. And then she went out and she closed the door, and we just burst into laughter because it was so funny. And we didn't know if it scared her but it didn't scare her. She just didn't see him. It wasn't what she expected. And then somebody in the hall told her, "No, that's right." So then she came back in. So they showed her first. So next, I just want to show you a few clips. And yes, I'm displayed prominently. And like I said, they didn't handpick anybody, but it was probably really good. They had a group of men and women. I think it was half and half. But they probably would have been smarter to handpick whoever sat at the table. Although during the show, they did show other people in the room, which was really nice of them to do that as well. Because the room seemed dark and the lights were really bright on the individual job candidates. And there was one light sort of on Marcus in where I was sitting, but it wasn't as bright as the lights that were on the job candidates. And then they had a really cool light on the conference table that was shown down to just bounce up onto the people's faces who were at the table. And that was actually pretty cool. So I took notes because I thought, I'm going to watch this show and I want to guess who's going to win this thing and get the job. So let me show you a few clips next.
I'm starting off where Marcus is, and here comes Buffy, and she's going to come in the room and think, whoa, where am I? Now, this clip was taken at a different time. There I am, and then Buffy's going to leave, and then we start to laugh, and I freeze frame this here because I knew I covered my mouth with my hand, but I didn't know Marcus did the same thing too. I thought it was kind of funny. And then in some of these other clips, oh, here comes Buffy again. She says, I walked out of the room and now I went back in. So the interesting thing is you never know how often you're going to be seen on these clips. And here I got seen a lot. And here I freeze frame this too, probably because it's in focus and I like it. And so I just wanted to show you this small part, but see how I keep coming up over and over. Very interesting. Yep, and there we go.
In the description box below this video, I'm going to have a link to the show that CNBC put online, which was just so fun, and it's actually commercial free. So I don't know how long they're going to have it up there. If later it's not available. Now I don't know if the show is going to be on Hulu later. I do know The Prophet is on Hulu because I'm a Hulu subscriber. So if you have a subscription to something like Hulu or one of those, see if the show is available there, or if you catch this video before March 7th and you have a DVR, definitely record it so you can watch it later and you can try to figure out who he's going to choose as a partner. Now, I will tell you, I was totally surprised by this. At the end of the first episode, he sent 5 people home. Oh my gosh, I was so surprised. So he put a lot of stock into this interview part with this group of people, and because he said, I'm going to be sending people into situations and they're going to be expecting A, and once they get there it'll be B, and he wants to make sure they can handle that. Now the other thing is, most of these people, well, all of them had been very successful, most of them in their own businesses, but many of them still own their own businesses. So my question was, how can they take a 3-year job that I thought was 1 year, but how can they take a 3-year job with him and walk away from their businesses for 3 years? Or how can they do both part-time? I don't know. So I think that might end up having something to do with who he chooses, just watching how he works. So try to see if you can figure out, while you're watching episode 1, which 5 he's going to keep, which 5 he's going to send home, but also who he's going to choose in the end, because I don't know. And I think this is going to be 5 or 6 episodes starting March 7th. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and check out some of my other videos on being a TV extra, which you can check out in your own metropolitan area, but you can click one of the videos on the right side of your screen or click the little eye in the upper right hand corner. Those also work on mobile. Thanks.